the Lancer 300s, where everybody talks about the glass cockpits and whatnot on the aircraft. And yes, this is a six-pack, if you will, where it has a standard gauges, so it doesn't have the primary flight display. But if you start looking around the cockpit and whatnot, you'll see, yes, your radios are separate, but you have half the glass here. You have the, and we'll get to that, you have the dual MX-20s on the aircraft in that regard. But before I get into that, the beauty of the aircraft, if you start to the left over here, you'll see that we have all of our analog engine gauges here. We have our left and right fuel quantities and the indicator lights that tell you what you have. You have 49 gallons, I'm sorry, of usable fuel on each side. You have your vacuum, pump, or vacuum gauge. This plane has not one but two vacuum pumps in it, and the only air-operated instrument in the aircraft is actually your attitude indicator. And in the event that you had so you have a lot of redundancy built up in that regard. Oil temperature and oil pressure, manifold pressure and your fuel flow are in this gauge here, and then you've got your RPM right here, very easy to look at. This aircraft is equipped with a JPI EDM 700 engine analyzer, which is extremely useful in seeing what's going on with each one of your cylinders. So you'll have CHT, you'll have your EGT, you have your lean find. You'll have, it goes through everything you need to see as far as that's concerned, and then when you're in flight, it continually rolls through each one of the cylinders. Up here you have a Davtron clock, and your outside air temperature shows up on here as well, so you don't have any big probes sticking out of this sleek aircraft. Once again, 746 Delta Tango was ordered with just about all the options you could get, and one of those was the altitude pre-select. So in here we can pre-select, we will set the the altimeter setting, but we can pre-select the altitude and the vertical speed that we want to climb at. Of course, you have your nav GPS mode, and as far as that's concerned. The other nice thing is we have our fuel computer in this aircraft, and that once again was another option. But so this is very nice. You can set tell it how much fuel you've put into your tanks and whatnot, and the fuel flow will tell you how much fuel you've used, how much fuel you have remaining, based on what your actual fuel flow is, and also how much time you have, or endurance, if you will. It's a very hard IFR aircraft, as you can see. You have your standard six-pack. You have the King Bendix King HSI, the best HSI out there. You have your number 2 OBS indicator. And then if you come across over here, we go back to the multifunctional displays, and the aircraft is displayed with the Apollo MX-20s. The dual MX-20, so you can have IFR charts up below and VFR charts down below. You've got XM weather that can show up on these. So there's multiple things you can do. If you wired an aircraft up with XM radio, you could actually see that through there. Storm scope shows up through there. So you have many different features that you can have on your multifunctional display. If you come down to our center stack here, you're going to see we have the Apollo GX50. Remember, this plane was certified in 1998. There was no Garmin at that particular time. Apollo was the best thing, the newest thing on the market. Apollo did, as we all know, a lot of work with the FAA on forward-looking technologies and whatnot. The GX50 is a very capable GPS unit, still used to this day. You have the Apollo audio panel, very capable audio panel that still used to this day. And then you have the Apollo SL30 Slimline navcoms, and Garmin's touts those as one of their primary navcoms now after Garmin bought Apollo. The Apollo SL70 transponder, excellent mode C transponder. And then once again the STEC 55 autopilot that's in more aircraft than any other general aviation aircraft today. Earlier I referenced the joystick controls of this aircraft, and the beauty of the joystick controls once again is you're directly linked to your ailerons and your elevators by lifetime push-rod controls, and so you're really feeling the real McCoy. The heating systems in the Lancers are excellent. You have floor heat, you have defrost, and of course your temperature control. But one of the unique things that you have is you have this cabin fan. So if you come out in a cool morning and you fire your aircraft up and you want heat, you turn it to heat mode, and then you simply turn the cabin fan on, And if you put it on defrost and your windshield is frosted up, it'll defrost that windshield. And the nice thing about it is you can get your passengers warm while you're taxiing and your aircraft's ready to take off. So as you can see, the Lancers are very nicely appointed, all leather interiors. They're very comfortable for 4 passengers. You could put, you know, two full-size 6-foot, 200-plus adults in the front, and the same in the back. The front seats move way forward. There's plenty of leg room in the back for passengers. I've spent, you know, 2.5, 3 hours in the back of one of these aircraft, and I'm 215, 6 foot, and very, very, very comfortable. This aircraft is equipped with the optional oxygen tank. This tank, you can take it out of the plane, or you can set it in the brackets that sit between the legs, and I'll sit it in the seat to show you that. And it allows you to go up to altitude. One of the nice things about the Lancer 300 is it's certified to 18,000 feet. Many of our customers take these planes across the Rockies. I mean, they will climb right on up to 17,000, 18,000 feet, and they'll cruise there at a comfortable cruise speeds in the 170s. So once again, with this optional oxygen tank, you can do that. If you're east of it's right to get above. The nice thing is very nice to be able to get up and cruise, say, 15,000 feet or so, and you're above 90% of the weather, and the weather you can't get above, everybody's going around and you can see it. Baggage compartments on the Lancer Columbias are voluminous, if you will. They'll hold a lot more than they look from the initially on the get-go. The opening is such a shape that you can fit very large luggage in the aircraft. It'll hold 120 pounds back here, and you have a hat shelf that goes in the back for your lighter weight items or things that you might carry with your plane and whatnot. Another interesting thing is that you could actually take the rear seats out and make the plane into a station wagon if you're going to try and haul something. The useful load on November 746 Delta Tango is about 1,055 pounds, so it'll carry quite a bit of a load. Once again, it's very versatile in the distance and how much fuel and how many passengers you can carry, so it truly is a 4-seater aircraft. So you can see 746 Delta Tango has all of the attributes that one could ask for. It's a single-owner aircraft. It's got very, relatively low hours, around 840 hours on it. It's got excellent avionics equipment. The plane is in excellent shape with always been hangared, always been well maintained, recent annual, and it's everything you could ask for in a high-speed 4-place aircraft. And this aircraft is offered at $219,000, and we invite you to come take a look.